Yeah. Mic check, mic check. Seems to be working. Sometimes I make a mistake, right? We're going live. So with that, good morning. Just getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, right on the dot as usual. Ooh. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good to see everyone back. Thomas, not sure what that says. I barely know English. Sorry. But good morning to everyone. Oh, trading bots going off in the background. Woo-wee. So posted this chart on the 2-hour chart. Real quick before we get rocking and rolling here, let's go over to let's see, refresh. Let's warm up the fingers real quick. Let's warm up the fingers. There we go. Refresh. There we go. Smash that like button, hit the repost button, and throw in a quick emoji. Help me with algorithms. Appreciate it. And we will, let's see, what else? Oh, there we go. Yeah, I posted this. It was 111,332. And I said, caption this Bitcoin pattern on the 2-hour chart. And I'm calling it a head and shoulders fake. Ooh, another fake. Crazy. I was going to call it an inverse head and shoulders, but sometimes it goes over people's head of the shoulders. So I didn't do that. But anyways, smash the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to get rock and rolling here, and we'll cover that chart too. But this is the daily chart of Bitcoin and the head and shoulders. It's breaking down, right? It broke down. You can see it broke down over here with a wick. But if you get a candle close below, the probabilities start to increase that, it's possible the head and shoulders pattern plays out and hits this target. Does it happen overnight? Usually not. Usually takes some time to play out, just as the pattern itself. And if you look all the way back to here, that's like a couple of months forming the pattern. So I don't expect it to hit that price target by the end of the day. But we're at $108,400 Bitcoin, not $150,000 or $200,000 or $250,000 Bitcoin. Would have been awesome if we could have seen a blow off top. As a swing trader, I for sure would have caught that. Just as, I was talking about, it was bearish as at least a local top February, March, and into April, and then talked about the bullish divergence in April for a swing up, hit 4 targets, and then, of course, if it breaks the 4 targets, try to push the trade as much as possible. So we were there for that. We weren't bearish during that whole pump in April to May. We were talking about a bullish divergence and a reversal, and let's go hit some targets, right? So swing trade it. Here we are, 108,000. Bitcoin is the same price as it was December 17th. So I put out my posts are unpopular when everyone wants the price to go higher. And my posts are unpopular when everyone's bearish at $16,000. And they're talking about going to $4,000 or $5,000 or zero. And I was like, no, there's a higher probability of bullish divergence reversal at 16,800. And that was my first 5x leverage long. So, just be a swing trader. Caesar, woo! Haven't seen you on the first couple live streams, but good to see you back on here. It's been a long time. Good to see you. So it's the same price as December 17th, right? So what I said was the last year the last 303 days, it hasn't really felt like a bull market to me. Like we're in a blow off top phase, right? it just seems like we're in a more of a rounding top phase. And so if you went all the way back to, I drew this on a different chart, but if you just go back to like here to here, right? It's coming back down into the middle area of this box, right? So it's, what's worse for swing traders is just going sideways. not going to the moon or not crashing to the bottom, right? If it goes to the moon, that's a swing trader's dream. If it's going to zero, that's a swing trader's dream, right? But there's a couple swings in here, like one swing down, and then, like I said, in April, one swing up up this way, right? So there's a couple good swings. Other than that, other than those two swings, maybe 3 or 4, depending on what time frame you're on. But overall, it's back to December 17th, 2024 prices. So I don't know. I just look at things a little bit different. We don't need that. That's just kind of visual purpose of like trying to explain my thoughts. And we talked about this every day on the live stream this week. If we get a candle close, we haven't. If we get a candle close below October 11th, in my opinion, that's good enough lower low. So this would be a lower high confirmed. So this is looking like a lower high more and more every day. And any candle close below here would be confirmation of that lower high with the lower low. Also, you could even say an even greater lower low would be over here, taking up this pivot. And then ultimately, slightly below that, if you get, it's like a higher probability that it's a lower low if you're closing out over this pivot over here. So basically, any candle close below this trend line 2 is going to increase probabilities of this head and shoulders playing out. Now, I don't trade patterns by itself. Make sure my mic's on. Looks good. Yeah, Thomas, I've looked at the BTC gold ratio several times. Yeah, the last 4 years gold performance is. Yeah, I mean, every dog has its day, right? So every dog has its day. So it just depends, and it's all about staying fluid and not having. Is that better or is this better? No, we'll stay with the tried and true. I like this one better. I don't know if it works as good on mobile phones. Maybe this is better on mobile phones, but then block some of the chart. Right. So yeah, that's Bitcoin. We're going to cover Bitcoin, altcoins, stocks. We'll take a look at all of that and see where we're at. And then the second half of the live stream, getting warmed up today. Woo! Off to a rocky start. This is great. Now we have someone to make fun of me for, right? So yeah. What are we doing? So, and then the second half of the live stream, we'll cover your chart requests, right? So with that, we'll just keep going. All right, what else? Oh, we got to look at let's take a look at the weekly chart again, right? The weekly chart. So before we get into the other chart, I want to show you on Bitcoin that we've been looking at since October, over a week ago, right? So again, we talked about this over the last couple of days, this whole week, that this was almost a bearish engulfing candle on the weekly chart. Any close below that 112 on the weekly chart, we still have today, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right? So it could close a lot lower, or somehow miraculously it could just push straight back up. But the probabilities are increasing that we're not going to do that. So a weekly candle close here, basically the same thing as a bearish engulfing candle, in my opinion. It just didn't happen on the initial week, but this wiped out all the leverages, all the leverage longs, short term, not long term. There's still like 10 billion of lower leverage longs below, all the way down to $40,000. So don't forget about that. But there is 19 billion wiped out in high leverage, shorter term leverage. And then people start thinking about selling, right? Start thinking about selling, and then they start getting out. So wipe it out quick, and then spot starts to get out of it, right? So, and some people are late to the party. Some people will never join the party. They'll just become forced hodlers again. So, you just have to make your own decisions in life and live with it. So there's a weekly chart. So that would close below here. In my opinion, that's basically the same thing as a bearish engulfing candle. Close below here at 108 on the weekly, which we're not very far off. 108, 200-ish. I don't know. Yeah, 230-ish on this exchange, Coinbase, but they're all a little bit different. That would be a lower low, not confirmed, on Bitcoin weekly chart. And I say not confirmed because it hasn't made a lower high on the weekly chart yet. So it's still really early when you're looking at the weekly chart. But you come back on here and you've got, I didn't even look at this, honestly. Pending sell signal on the weekly chart as well. You had the RSI sell signal back here. You have the long-term bearish divergence I've been pointing out. So not looking great for the perma bulls who are calling for 250,000 Q4, right? We're in Q4. Pending. Not pending. Breaking news. Just in. So that's that. Let's get back on the daily chart. Let's take a look at our stupid Wyckoff chart over here. Let's go. Oh no, I already have it over here. There we go. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Here's where we're at. I posted it on October 8th. Price was at 123,000. When price came down here on the 10th or 11th, I pointed out, will it bounce? It did. It bounced all the way to 116,000. Bounced exactly, accidentally, it bounced exactly where I drew the squiggly lines, and it went exactly to 116,000. And now it's breaking down, right? So if we get a candle close below this pivot, at 110, and then below this pivot, and then below this pivot, and it comes down to like this area, maybe it could bounce back around, retest, flip, break the support, and then retest back into and flip it into resistance. Then you could see a much bigger move down to target 4, possibly, according to this, right? Do I expect it to play out exactly? No, I don't. Could these squiggly lines not even happen? Sure. But what I'm looking at mostly is this pivot, this pivot, this pivot, this pivot. Why? Because it's lower highs and lower lows, right? So, and these pivots kind of line up with a little bit on here, or kind of on here, but also on my targets, right? So I have targets too. So that's still playing out. A lot of gotcha guys trying to make this chart invalidated way too early, right? So rest in peace. Rest in peace. What's this one? All right, let's get back on the candles for the no. Hold on. Let's go back over here because I got it already worked out in the candles. Let's hit this chart. Let's hit this chart. There we go. So cover this on the previous live streams, right? Take out this pivot point. Well, it looks like it's going to close below that. Now we still have a full day a full stock market day ahead of us, right? So it's still early, but take out that pivot point. Already mapped that out on previous live stream. Take out this pivot point here. So assume you get a candle close below there. It's possible you get a candle close below there today. And if you finish with the candle close below here as well, like these are all just milestones. There's so many that I can map out milestones. And so watching all three of those horizontal pivots, right? Looks like it wants to come back in to retest target 2. It was very close to hitting target 3. Is it going to come all this way and not hit target 3 or target 4? Possibly, but every local top so far has dropped 30 to 32%, right? So this is at least a local top. At least a local top. So down here would be like 32%, right? So if you go wick, 26%, right? So it's possible, right? And then if you start getting candle closes below target 4 and you've got the weekly chart rolling over and all that stuff, then you're not looking at like a quick recovery back to the upside, right? At the very least, you have to come to terms with what you see on the charts. It's heading downward. It's not pumping upward. So you have to at least come to terms with, especially if the weekly flips with a sell signal and confirms by the end of the week, you have to realize the probabilities are that it's not going to just flip right back around and get right into a V-shaped recovery, right? Could it? Sure. But it's been going sideways pretty much since December 17th, 2024, right? So that's where we're at. Price is heading towards target 2. Target 3 is still on the board. Target 4 is still on the board. All of that. What was this? Which one was this? This is the bearish divergence pending sell signal on the weekly chart. This just missed a bearish engulfing candle. There's no lower high as of yet. This would, for example, this is a bearish engulfing candle and then the lower high on the weekly chart, but it had no sell signal. So that's one key difference, but yet it still went down 30%, right? So wick to wick, call it 32% if you round up. So if it's much more than just a local top like that, then see this chart here. And I posted, are we on the 1-year march towards the blue line, right? So I drew out this kind of trajectory here, kind of mapping this out, right? So already starting our buy the right dip scenario, right? We're starting our buy the right dip scenario. So in 2021, at the end of 2021, I drew out the opportunity zone. And the opportunity zone is basically, if you're all about dollar cost averaging, I'm anti dollar cost averaging in a bear market. So if you're a dollar cost averaging bro, and that's all you want to do, the time to dollar cost average, in my personal opinion, obviously none of this is financial advice. Obviously this is for educational purposes only, and hopefully we get some laughs along the way making fun of me because my charts are ridiculous and stupid, and I don't like off. But you see this box below here? It's a box below the 200-week moving average. If you want to dollar cost average under the blue line, historically, that's been an amazing time to buy. Will I do that? No. Will I wait for a higher probability reversal? Again, yes, because I'm confident I'm going to see the reversal. So I'm not worried about that I need to dollar cost average all the way down. Could that still be a profitable strategy in 10 years? Sure. But I don't want to wait 10 years. I could go to cash as an example at a $2.15 trillion asset. and waiting for a higher probability reversal, I could buy back at a $1 trillion asset. And that's a much better strategy, in my opinion, because say you walked away with $108,000 Bitcoin, right? How many Bitcoins could you buy with the same $108,000 down here? Even if you're not good at math, you would say 2 Bitcoin, right? So yeah, cool. Your 1 Bitcoin is still 1 Bitcoin. But what if your 1 Bitcoin becomes 2 Bitcoin? Right? Crazy scenario. So you got to have a plan, though. You got to have your strategy. You got to be able to execute that strategy. And that's where most will fail because they don't block out the noise. They're get too emotional. And a lot of the reasons why is because of the noise and stuff like that. So the hopium, their narratives. Wow, trading bot's on fire right now. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Day trading over there. 97, I think it's the first year, 97% of all day traders lose money. And then as time goes on, like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years later, day traders lose like 99% of the day traders lose money. So when I started the recorded coaching, like I talked about in the past, previous live streams on this week, I talked about that. And so that took me down the rabbit hole of automation because I saw with the same strategy, people have a hard time executing the strategy. The same strategy I would have, they have a hard time executing it. And I'm not perfect, but I battle my own thoughts and emotions too. But it took me down the rabbit hole 3 years ago to automation. And so that's where we're at right now. Just give you should I do this? I don't know. A quick glimpse at one of the indicators I'm going to be rolling out of one of 30 trading bot strategies that I'm going to start rolling out. And it's going to be super cheap. New website, the automation of setup and of joining. And if you want to unjoin, it will all be automated. So it takes, for the most part, I think it's going to be 90, 95% or 100% automated setup and cancel your account if you want to. Of course, you could always email me as well. But this is a weekly chart, by the way. But we're automating the process and then automating the trading as well. And, you can learn to set it up yourself. We give you all the instructions. And then I think we're going to even have a Pillix. You could do a 1 hour call with him. I've done a 1 hour call with him to show him how to set up the trading bots and stuff as well. And he's younger than I am, so he's much more tech savvy, and he could jump on a 1 hour call. But that it's funny. I charged him and 10 others $1,000 for me to jump on a call with them to set up their automated trading, because I'm not doing it for less than $1,000 personally. But he's going to he can jump on a 1 hour call with you for $249, right? So that seems a lot cheaper than me jumping on a call for $1,000. I actually charged him $1,000 to show him how to set it up. And I'm not sorry for that, Pillix. Unlike me, he doesn't want his name out there. So, but I have all his info. I know where he lives. I know his name, everything. But with that, he'll do it for $249. So you can set it up yourself for no additional charge, just the monthly subscription. But if you want to like a short learning curve and be 100% set up within an hour, it'd probably be like 45 minutes. But if you have questions and stuff like that, for like 15 minutes after that, whatever. Super nice guy, really tech savvy. Can set you up in less than an hour, start to finish, and you could be up and rock and rolling. So with that, All right, I'll give you a quick glimpse. Sharpshooter candle strategy 4.2. The original sharpshooter candles indicator that started it all and was converted into a trading strategy that can be fully automated, fully customizable with multiple filters. So I added filters, including above, below trading dots, noise filter, and time filter, complete with position management tools designed to auto take profit, auto stop loss, move stop loss to break even. So all these can work together or independently. Trailing stop loss, you could have no filters, you could have all the filters, you could have multiple strategies here. Trailing stop loss, scaling, like if you're doing futures contracts like micro, you could scale and have multiple take profits, reversal exit, and more. So it's a lot, right? So a quick glimpse, this is a 15-minute chart. And obviously there's going to be times when the market is a lot more sideways or choppy, but this is a 15-minute chart when it's trending. You can see it took a short. This has got one of the filter, at least one filter on it. And you see it took a short here. And then I have the reversal exit on. So it reversed and it exited the position. And then it went right back into a long position, right? So it's not always going to do that. Otherwise, we'd all be billionaires by tomorrow. But for example, if the trading bot is a $100 per month, I'm very confident you could find a setting that would net profit you $100 per month, right? Whatever you come up with, I'm sure you can find a way to make up your $100 per month, right? So that's the gamble, right? That's the gamble. Of course, you could run it on a paper trading account at first, and you could test it for a month. You could test it for 2 months, all that stuff, right? So it would just be a cost of a subscription fee to test it on your own paper account. And you should probably do that anyways, just to feel comfortable, and then move to live testing, whatever it is. But this is what I'm going to roll out 2 of them, and this is one of them. And then I'm going to start rolling out all the other ones over time. It just takes time, and I don't have all that time. So with that, I don't have any. I'm not, I don't consider myself an influencer because I've never taken $1 of paid partnerships or sponsorships or anything like that. I've declined all of them. So I don't consider myself an influencer. But so I got to plug what I'm doing. It's all self-made, right? So I don't have to trust anyone else out there that they're doing something well. Like I posted earlier, and like I saw Peter Brandt, shout out to Peter. But he's like, it was literally yesterday or the day before, he's like, I only trust Paxos. So I'm like, ooh, that doesn't look as good today. Ooh, I was like, oh, interesting. You trust Paxos, right? So maybe he got money for that. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he just truly trusts them. And then literally a day or two later, they minted $300 trillion. And then miraculously, within no problem, hitting the delete button and deleting that $300 trillion minting. I mean, if you could just hit a button, create $300 trillion, and then hit another button and delete it all like it's nothing, you trust that? Ooh, I'm skeptical. So I've seen too many bad actors in crypto, stock, business in general, blah, blah, blah. Unless I'm there in the meetings, unless I'm there looking at the books, unless I'm behind closed doors, I'm always a trust but verify guy. And I mean verify. So I do not, I don't promote anybody, So if I believe in you and I trust you, I'll promote you. But so we're just doing our own thing. And, you test it out for yourself or you don't, right? So pending sell signal on the weekly chart for BTC. We've dropped below $108,000. And let's see. This is Bitcoin futures. So we've looked at multiple exchanges, multiple assets. And I talked about this, that the Bitcoin on Binance, the market bosses are going to want it to all look and have confluence, right? So if Binance went down to 102 and some of the other exchanges didn't, and Bitcoin futures hasn't yet, they're going to want the charts to all kind of line up, and then they can see that, okay, that one wick doesn't look as bad on the charts, right? They're going to want them all to look lined up, though. Otherwise, it looks bad that they're not all talking perfectly together, because you have different types of paper Bitcoin, right? You have Bitcoin, then you have futures paper Bitcoin, okay? Then you have derivatives paper Bitcoin. Then you have ETF paper Bitcoin. You have Bitcoin CVDs. You have Bitcoin derivatives, right? You have Bitcoin option futures paper Bitcoin, and high leverage. I mean, there's so much paper Bitcoin out there. The casino wants them to all have confluence and line up. So I thought it'd be very, very, very strange and not believable that Binance can go down to 102 with the wick, but other exchanges and Bitcoin futures does not, right? So the casino wants it to look good, right? You wouldn't want it to look that out of sorts. And that's my own personal opinion. But prices dropping down to target 2. Bitcoin on Binance has already hit target 2, almost hit target 3. So the odds are and the probabilities are that we're going to check off target 2, and then we'll see about target 3, target 4. Tiny small gap over here. I put it on the chart, but it's so small that if it hits it, it hits it. But I just put it on the chart. Ethereum back into target 2. I pointed out the lower high, I pointed out while it's in process, is it creating a lower high? And Ethereum's already hit 3 out of 4 targets. 4th target still remains. SP 500, pending sell signal on the daily chart. Algorand dropping back below. I said if it closes back below, it's possible it comes all the way down to 13 cents. Similar to Rose, and come back down to these levels. We talked about this yesterday. XRP, do we have any? Okay. Comment if you want me to go through any chart requests. XRP breaking down, kind of leading the way. Came all the way down to $1.40. Weekly chart doesn't look great, right? Here, let me get rid of some of this so we can see it. Yeah, we covered this a lot on yesterday's live stream. Oh, let me do one thing. Hold on, sorry. I got to go over to Twitter real quick. I forgot to unpin. Uno momento, por favor. Unpin. All right. I don't want too many live streams showing. All right, so there we go. And all right, smash the like button. Okay, cool. All right, let's get back to it. There's the live stream. Long-term bearish divergence, right? So long-term bearish divergence. Oh, the bot is working hard on the day trading today. Woo! I told you I have FOMO. When the bot goes off, I need to go take a look at it. Can you check this Aave? Yeah. Second half of live stream. You got it. Ondo. Yep. Okay. I'll come back to it. Yeah, Ondo's on this list right here. So we'll definitely cover that real quick. Aave. Yeah, I have Aave. So I haven't looked at Aubin in a little bit, but it doesn't look good on the weekly chart for XRP. Just so you know, right? You've got bearish divergence long term here. RSI is making lower highs longer term. And this looks like a sneaky lower high over here, right? Sneaky lower high on the weekly chart. And now we're breaking down, right? Weekly chart is bearish. And XRP is quote unquote cooked, possibly for a while. So take that for what it is. Make your own decisions in life. Live with what you can live with, right? So that's that. Oh, what happened? Oh, I don't know. Oh, is that the internet? Pay for high speed 1 gig internet, but I'm on Wi-Fi, so streaming, should be okay though. Should be fast. I didn't test it, but today, but it should be good. It doesn't look good on XRP weekly chart. Oof. Bitcoin looks the same, right? XCN doesn't look good. Chainlink weekly chart had a weekly sell signal, does not look good. Coming back in here. Let's get on the daily chart. But it hit the first magnet, right? It hit the first magnet over here, but I put the magnet here, but then it nailed that magnet, right? Then I put this magnet over here because it seems like it wants to come back in for a retest on Chainlink. Near Cardano, Ondo, they all look the same. So no need to spend a ton of time on it, but they all look the same on the daily chart. The weekly chart doesn't look great, right? Ondo's, like talked about this, I think on a previous live stream. Ondo's been bearish since 2024, 73% and all the way down that wick. Cardano, 2024, right? 79% on Cardano. In hindsight, this looks like the bounce for a lower high in weekly chart, right? You got another sell signal over here. So downward sloping 200-week moving average, I pointed that out before. It doesn't look great. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised negatively. Dang, Michael PH, how many requests do you have? We'll see if anyone has other requests. If not, I could always do it. I've never charted that one. So let me know. I'm assuming that's crypto, but make sure to put in what type of asset class and the name of it besides the ticker symbol. It helps me out with searching when I've never charted it before. And if it doesn't have a lot of chart history, I won't spend too much time on it because there's not much value I can try to add. Q&T, just downward. This is a weekly chart, so it would take time for the weekly chart to flip around, right? XLM 2024. I'm sorry. If you're still holding, we had an amazing swing trade. My mom captured like 300% of XLM. And then on Algo and XRP captured like another nice move, but it wasn't 300%. And then on Algo, I told her let's take a small 4% loss and close it out. And now it's just, swing trading. Dang, trading bot. God, I want to look. I gotta look. Okay. Ooh, the one at 926. That was a good one. That one was okay. Decent. Little quick day trade. Let's see. What's the calculation on that? Should I calculate it? Calculator. So it's day trading micro NASDAQ futures. So that was a $150 trade, and it lasted, let's see, 9:26, and it got out at 9:31. 5-minute trade made $150. They're not all like that. Trust me, they're not all like that. But that's the capability of it. So, jeez. Okay. So if it's really fast, like even faster than 5 minutes, probably going to be a small loss, right? So small loss, small loss, small loss, and then a nice big trade. So if it's like -20, -30, and then $150 win, right? So that's why I have that one's not going to be rolled out. That one I'm beta testing with a live trading account. That would be more of a premium one because I'm using exact settings that I'm looking at. So the cheaper one, rolling out multiple trading bots, will be really cheap. You have to come up with your own settings. I'll play around with some settings, but I won't take deep dives on them to try to help find like a profitable scenario for like beginners and stuff. But if you like, I may or may not roll out a premium trading bot. I don't know if I'm going to or not, or I just keep it for like the 10 brave souls that took this trip with me like a year ago. So as a thank you to them, I'm definitely they already have access to it, but and they're on a free 30-day trial with the current premium trading bot I made. And then of course, once November 1st happens, if they want to participate, they're going to have to pay for it, but they'll still come up with their own settings probably too. But for me, I'll give them my settings. Soul. Okay. So we're gonna keep going through here. I'll still come back to Aave and possibly YFL or YFI. I can't even tell. Is that YFI? Yeah, it's gotta be. But real quick, let's take a look at like the NASDAQ daily chart. So we had the sell signal, and then you had the buy signal underneath. So like I said, like on the trading bot, one of the filters is it would not take a long if the candle was underneath the trending dots, right? So sell, and then it's still below trending dots and stuff like that. So of course on the indicator, I don't have that. So for the indicator is just for manual trading anyways. But it seems like this could be a lower high. The trending dots are red, trending down, and we'll see if it pushes down lower and then puts in a lower low by taking out this pivot point. So gold still pumping, silver still ultra bullish, gold still ultra bullish, NASDAQ, MNQ, pending sell signal, Dow Jones. See, this could be the lower high I'm talking about, right? Russell, bearish divergence. So I know a lot of people got excited on the new all-time high. That's great. But what's the whole picture telling you? The whole picture is telling you that RSI is putting in lower highs. So at the very least, caution. Dollar got rejected at target 1, hovering right around the trending dots. The VIX is spiking. Ooh, I haven't even checked my VIX call today. Oh, I gotta check that. I gotta check that. That's gotta be looking good right now. I took out a VIX call. Should I look this up right now? I bought a VIX call. Let's see, portfolio. Okay. Yeah. It's up 35.77% today. And overall 30.82%. All right. Cool. I mean, it's nothing to write home to mom about, but I took out a VIX call for, just for fun, right? Some people buy lottery tickets. I don't. I don't think I've ever, since I was 18 to 46, nearly 30 years, I've never bought a lottery ticket. I've never gone in and bought a lottery ticket. I bought scratchers. I bought scratchers for, not me. I'm not, it's crazy to think that I'm not a gambler, right? Like I'll play the craps table for like fun, but I don't like something I can't like stack multiple probabilities on. So even when I play the craps table, I'm like the highest percentage wins you could do. And if I lose a couple $100, I'm out. I don't keep doing more. If I'm up a couple $100, I'm out. I could walk away from the table. But dang, pump VIX, pump. But I'll play the 6 and the 8 point because outside the 7 is the highest percentage win or the highest probabilities, right? So the 7 is the highest, and then the 6 and 8 are the second highest, and they kind of straddle the 7. So I play the 6 and the 8 point, and if I walk away with like 20 to 100% profit, I'm happy, right? I got to play, and if someone gets hot on the table, cool, it's fun because you get to high five people, all that stuff. But other than that, I'm not a gambler, right? So I don't like gambling, which sounds crazy. But if you can stack the probabilities in your favor, this is the closest thing to gambling right here is buying a call option on the VIX, right? That's the closest thing I can get to gambling, but it's stacked with probabilities. And, we'll see what happens. So I don't go all in on it. Like the craps table, I'm not going to bet thousands of dollars. No way. No way. And I'm not going to go and bet thousands of dollars on a VIX call, right? So, no. But yeah. Bought a VIX call. Just want to check that out. What else? Apple. This could be the lower high in Apple. Had mom close out her position 32 minutes before the market closed. T-Doc trying. I don't love it though. Trying to get back to target 2. Trying to fill this gap. I don't know if it will. And then, of course, the market giveth, the market taketh. So that's Hive, daily chart, Bitfarm. Trending dots are way down here. Bearish engulfing candle on Marathon Digital. Higher time frames look a little bit different, but if Bitcoin's going to drop, probably all these will drop too, right? So if you're in a big move up from this buy signal, at some point you got to decide when do you take profit. It's still above the trending dots, all that stuff. No sell signal as of yet, but there is bearish divergence, right? So after bearish divergence, if you're getting a candle close, like it looks kind of like a bearish engulfing candle, but it's not. And with Bitcoin dropping, do you lock in the profits, right? Those are decisions you have to make. Veritone pumped 50%. Now it's down 17%. I mean, that's the next closest thing to a lottery ticket, right? TLT, I've been talking about TLT being bullish and that the macro bottom seems to be in. Here's the weekly chart, macro bottom, right? At least seems like it wants to come back up and retest the 200-week moving average. MicroStrategy. Oh, Jesse. The canary in the coal mine. MicroStrategy has been in a bear market since November 2024. A lot of these altcoins have been in a bear market since, drumroll, since 2024, December, right? So some of them didn't even make a new high, all-time high. like Fetch.ai did, and that's been a bear market since March 2024. Some of the altcoins did make a new all-time high, but look like they've been in a bear market since December 2024. MicroStrategy has been in a bear market since 2024. You know what else happened very similarly is altcoins, and some altcoins and MicroStrategy put in all-time highs in like spring of 2021, and then Bitcoin followed 6 to 8 months later. So not exact, but there are still similarities. So that's MicroStrategy. As we continue to drop below 300 and then 200, the magnet's just going to get bigger and bigger, right? So you get a weekly candle close below here, or a daily candle close below 255. This magnet's going to get really loud, really powerful. I mean, loud, powerful, whatever. So right now it's kind of like it's not a little guy. It's like a medium guy right now. So it's medium magnet. You start closing below here, probably go like that, right? So to be over dramatic. What else? Anything else popping out of us? Total 3. I mean, that doesn't look great for total 3 all season. Does it? Does the weekly chart look great for all season? Bearish divergence long term. Slight bearish divergence long term. Man, there's a lot of people getting it wrong again, right? A lot of big accounts out there, a lot of influencers. I saw them get it wrong in end of 2021. A lot of the same big influencers are getting it wrong again. And they were wrong all the way through June 2022, right? All the way through June 2022, they were getting it wrong. Some of them capitulated in end of April, May, but most of them didn't get it right. Most of them became forced hodlers again. Or they're not even trading, who knows? Or investing, right? They're just hodlers. Speaking of hodlers, the weekly chart has a pending sell signal, and there are a lot of gaps. Again, bearish divergence getting picked up longer term on all the way back, right? This is all bearish divergence. Higher highs, lower highs on RSI, right? RSI sell signal, pending sell signal on the weekly chart, right? Go to the daily chart. There's so many gaps below. Sell signal on the daily chart, right? You're going to tell me that paper Bitcoin from the ETFs aren't going to fill these gaps? That'd be something to see. Some people say, why do gaps have to be filled? They don't have to be filled, but what I always say in response is not all gaps get filled, but dang, do they work great as targets. And if you got this many gaps, it's not going to look good on a chart, right? It's not going to look good on a chart. And they want all the charts to look good, right? The casino, it'd be weird if like the casino had like 10 different machines of the same machine and they're all completely out of a line, right? So you got 10 Wheel of Fortune gambling machines, right? I don't know, Wheel of Fortune. My wife's, by the way, is ridiculous, like weirdly good at Wheel of Fortune. Weirdly good. Like she wins Wheel of Fortune every time. I'm like, you should just do that full time. So she'd make like $30,000 a day, 5 days a week. It'd be crazy. But if you had 10 Wheel of Fortune gambling machines and they're all out of line, right? They didn't line up and work the same. It would be weird. You'd be like, what's wrong with it? Okay, good. So hodl, not for me. I'm gonna stay a swing trader. Tesla. We can go over here. Magnificent 7, let's turn to the Magnificent 80. ANF, way below the 200-week moving average. So that's what can happen after it goes parabolic, right? It goes parabolic, comes back to retest the 200-week moving average, right? Eventually. Tesla had an RSI sell signal already. Meta, small gap filled. Don't worry, we're still going to come back and circle around for Sol, Aave, and possibly YFI. We'll see how much time we have, how much energy I still got left in the tank. Apple, UNH filled this gap over here. 9% gap, still 16% gap, but may not get filled for a while. TQQ still holding my $106 put. Currently doesn't look as good as when it went to $94 in the aftermarket. Whatever. I've got till November 7th. So I'd be surprised if we don't get back below the $96, maybe back to 94. But if it doesn't go below $94, in hindsight, I would have wished that I would have closed it at $96, right? But whatever. Like I said, it's not. I didn't go all in on it. What else? PLTR. Looks like possible lower high. Microsoft, QQQ, VIX. This is the VIX M. It's just another ETF. So there's so many different ones, but looks similar to the regular VIX. What else? I think that's about it. We're up closing in on an hour anyway. So let me take a look at Aave was the first one. I have it on here. Let's see, Aave. There we go. On Binance. If you don't specify what exchange, I'll just pick the one that I have. There we go. Yeah, it looks very similar to all the other altcoins, right? By the way, Aave, if you zoom out, has been in a bear market since May 2021. I have these targets laid out all the way down here at the bottom. And I don't think all 4 targets got hit. It looks like 2 targets got hit. So 2 targets, close to hitting 3 targets. And that was it as of right now. So drew these out way back here in 2023. Only hit 2 targets. And then this looks like a lower high over here. Now you have a sell signal. Doesn't look great for Aave on the weekly chart. Looks very similar to the other ones. Talked about if a lot of these altcoins could come back down where Rose did. Rose is even below this pivot point over here at $49. So I'm not saying it will. I'm just pointing out and making an observation, right? So when would I start changing my mind? When do I change my mind? Well, higher probability reversal. So it's going to take some time for the ship to get turned around. Robbie, check layer on Coinbase. Okay. Hey, thank you for writing all that out. Yeah, I'll do that. So when do I start changing my tune, right? Well, it's going to take some time, right? The weekly chart is looking bearish, daily chart, all that stuff. So probably see some bullish divergence form at the bottom. Need the ship to get turned around. So even if that meant like, hey, this is the bottom at $80, cool, awesome, sweet. I'm still not buying. I'm buying when all this gets kind of like retested and refilled, and there's like a breakout and there's bullish divergence and the weekly chart looks like it's starting to flip back around, it takes time. It really does take time. And that's the hardest part, especially for a swing trader, is to be patient and pick your spots, right? So if there was, say, some sort of bullish divergence, the weekly chart's starting to flip around, changes to green as like bullish divergence, and you've got a setup like this, that's when I'm buying. And I'm taking my shot then. And it doesn't mean it's going to work out, right? You could have taken a shot here and it doesn't work out and you hit the sell signal and you take a small loss, right? That's part of the game. And then you just readjust, reconfigure, and wait for the next one, right? So you just kind of keep it simple, unemotional. And I think that's where, like, setting up a trading bot, you could just set up where the next bull run or the next major bounce, right? You could set it up and do buys only. And when there's a sell, it'll just close your position. And then on the next setup, the next buy, it only takes a spot buy. And it'd be weird if you couldn't find a setting that does better than buying the top and selling the bottom, right? So you could put that on a lower time frame, like a 4-hour chart or a 15-minute chart, like I showed. You could put that on daily chart. You could put it on a 2-day chart, week chart, whatever your heart desires, right? So if we ever get another bull run or a massive pump, the full automation will be ready for you to go. Stocks, you can put it on stocks, you can put it on crypto, you can put it on futures, all that stuff. So that's Aave. What else? Sol. All right, we'll look at Sol. Where is it? I know I have it up here, don't I? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Yep, Sol looks very similar, right? So no need to like go over the details over and over and over again. But the daily chart looks like a lower high over here, just like all the other ones. Weekly chart, probably going to have a pending sell in the very near future. This is looking like a lower high, right? So RSI, pending sell signal. Had a candle close below the trending dots. So it's not going in an upward direction as of right now. And you can kind of put out like a weekly chart trajectory that, maybe there's not even a bounce until then. Who knows, right? We don't have a magic crystal ball. I wish I did, but we don't. So however this plays out, maybe there's a bounce, right? And then maybe it continues to go forward, or maybe it doesn't. And it's in that bear market, right? So you put high, lower high, lower high, lower low. So there you go. YFI. If I can't find it quickly, then in crypto, then I won't. Okay, Binance. All right, we'll do it. Let's take a look. Weekly chart, zooming out. Oops. 10 o'clock, 10:04. It's been in a bear market since May 2021. I talked about this a lot in 2021, 2022. On the flip of, when we're going into all the way through 2021, 2022, not all altcoins will make it out alive. Just like in the .com crash, not all stocks made it out alive and made new all-time highs. Some will disappear. Some will drop 90+% and never make it back. So it's never a guarantee, right? So from here, May 2021 to current price right now, it's down 95%, and it's been 1,624 days. That's why I don't hodl, especially something that you're like really into. You know how much money someone loses by not like due to inflation, right? This is against the dollar. So against the dollar, it did this. That's unbelievable. I mean, it could, but have you been holding since 2021? So if it's accumulating, cool. But it's not doing anything, right? So whether it's accumulating or not, if you let it, if you're talking about the accumulation game only, right? And you come back to June 2022, you're still losing money against the dollar, right? There's still many other assets you could have bought that could have made money potentially. So I wait for those reversals and I play it, and if it reverses, I'm out, right? So yeah, it could be accumulation, but for how long? When? You know? Does it ever make it back? Does it break down below this accumulation? Does it not? Is it not accumulation? Right? You know, that's guessing, right? Yeah. I mean, I just tell you how I see it, whether right or wrong. So you got it. Layer. All right, last one. Last one. Dig deep, Jesse. Dig deep. Layer on Coinbase. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Robbie. There you go, Robbie. What a way to end it. What a way to end the show. That's it. The show. Okay. Yeah, you want me to chart this one? There you go. You're doing great. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got. Okay, cool. We're not gonna end it like that. There's no way. That's ridiculous. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, the bottom is in. I wonder if the bottom is in crews coming out and they bought this wick again. Remember, talked about every live stream, buy every wick. The bottom is in. Oh, cool. You bought it at 108. Bottom is in on the wick. Oh, cool. You bought it at 120. Badge of honor. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay. Not my strategy. If you can dodge a wrench, you might be able to dodge or catch it. You might be able to catch a falling knife. Or even crazier, trying to buy layer like Robbie with no chart history. Casino's open. Casino. Oh, should we look at Trump just for fun? Woo-wee. Charts are greater than narratives. Always. Always keep that in mind. There you go. Just hit target 4 already. Get on with it. Holding on. Holding on. So yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I think we'll wrap it up here. But yeah, Bitcoin is not trending towards $250,000 on the daily chart. Bitcoin is not trending towards $250,000 on the weekly chart. Tough love is still love. I showed to you what I see in the charts. You know, truly here coming from trying to be helpful, right? So with that, hope you all have a good rest of your day. We'll see you on the next live stream, which will be tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And with that, adios. Have a good day. Good luck to you. And we'll see you on the next one.